Hello, welcome to the Talking Bees episode 1. We're live and it's the first podcast that I've done on this channel. And to be honest, it's the first live broadcast I've done in the history of my 22-year life. So whether this goes well, whether it doesn't go well, we'll find out in the next hour. Obviously, so you're used to seeing me and my grandma, but I think she's at the age now where working out how to use a live streaming software may be slightly too complicated. So instead of that, I've got two guests with me today. I've got Carla Devine, who is an avid Barnet fan, hasn't missed a game since March 2018. She's going to be here to discuss the 3-1 defeat to Aldershot on Saturday. And we're going to bring Kobe, who's a Aldershot fan, a fellow vlogger like me, goes to every Aldershot game, loves the club, and he's going to talk to us a bit about the game as well. His opinion is obviously going to be slightly different to me and Carla's. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Liking this video means a lot. It shows that you're liking what we're doing here, and we'll go again next week. Subscribing as well. If you want to see it again, make sure you do subscribe, and you will see it again. So today, obviously, we're going to discuss the game on Saturday. Obviously, it finished in a 3-1 defeat for Barnet. Aldershot winning 3-1 overall in that game. HiccupEU scoring twice against the former club. We didn't really do much in the game, to be honest, and Aldershot fully deserved the win. We'll discuss that. Carla would come in after I've given my roundup. Then Kobe will come in, and then we're going to have a big fat National League quiz of the week where over the course of the season, we're going to have Barnet fans up against my guests, and we're going to see how we do as a fan base in our knowledge of the National League. But first, I'm going to give my view on Saturday, and then we'll bring Carla in. So, 3-1, what can I say? We started off the game terribly, didn't we, really? They gave away a free kick in the first 30 seconds where they've crossed it in. It's just about scrambled it away. Then for the first 10 minutes, they sort of peppered our goal, and I thought, this is a bit of a poor start considering the start we've had this season. Obviously, the first 6 games, we'd only lost to Chesterfield. We were sitting pretty in third in the league going into Saturday. Could have gone second, could have gone first, depending on other results. But we started terribly. And I think maybe it was a bit of complacency, but maybe we got the system wrong as well. I'll talk about that coming up shortly. But obviously, we went 1-0 down. Soundbeard got done by Justin Amaluza, who would know Justin Amaluza would turn into Cristiano Ronaldo after the time he had at Barnet. I remember him back in the day coming on off the bench under Martin Allen and not really impacting the game whatsoever. But he made Soundbeard look like a mug a lot in that first half. And when he rolled Soundbeard from that throw-in, you knew it was going to be a penalty straight away. Now, I've heard that Dean Brennan wasn't too happy about the awarding of the penalty. Apparently, the ball went off before they got the throw-in that Soundbeard rolled him. I didn't see it on the highlights. Barnet haven't put out any highlights, so I don't know. But HiccupEU did put away the penalty, put it straight down the middle. I mean, Laurie Walker had no chance with that. He did make some other good saves, though, Laurie Walker, and he did keep us in the game. And just before, I think it was about half an hour into the game, we got a corner, and it was exactly the same routine as we did against Eastleigh. It was whipped in by... I think it was by Rob Hall this time. He whipped it in as an in-swinger. Harry Pritchard got across the near post and he flicked it into the corner and it was 1-0. And it wasn't really deserved for Barnet. We didn't really have too many chances before that, but we scored from a corner there and we're back in the game. And then for the next 15 minutes leading up to the half-time, I actually thought we dominated. And that was the only period in the game where we dominated the game. We had a proper chance when I think Hall whipped it in again. Diarra's there and Kabamba's there. It's fallen to Kabamba and 6 yards out. I'm not quite sure how he's missed, but the keeper's pulled off an unbelievable save and tipped it over the bar. And to be honest, that would have put us 2-1 up just before half time. And I said it at the time. I think we go on and win the game 4-5-1 if that goes in. Looking at Aldershot's previous games where they've actually created loads of chances, as they did in that first half and as they did in the second half. But they didn't take the chances in the other games, and the other team took theirs, and that's why they ended up losing their games before. But they took their chance on this occasion, 1-1 going into half time. But we did actually hit the bar just before half time. It was a bit of an audacious attempt from Gorman. Didn't really look like it was going in, but it did chip the keeper and it clipped the crossbar and gone over. Half time, I thought at half time it was definitely a winnable game. I said on my vlog, if you do watch the vlogs, well, if you don't watch the vlogs, then I don't know what you're doing because you're missing out. Me and my grandma, obviously, we go to every game, so make sure you do check them out. I will leave a link. Well, I don't even need to leave a link. It's in my channel. They're all there for you to watch, so make sure you do watch them. I don't know if you can hear my dog, but the dog is barking. So second half, we actually took Rob Hall off at half-time, which actually shocked me, really. He was our best player in the first half. Not really sure what happened, whether he was injured or whether it was a tactical decision. We brought Idris Cardi on for his debut. Looks very lightweight. I'm not sure that was the right sub going into the second half, but he came on, and then we sort of... Nothing really happened, really. Aldershot nearly scored straight from kickoff. Harry Pritchard cleared it off the line. Then we went up the other end, and Pritchard had a shot which was really well saved by their keeper, who looked proper good, by the way. I think he's the brother of Ashley Hammond, who was at Boreham Wood last season. think he was at Fulham before. He's a top keeper. So I think this might be the younger brother. Excuse me if I'm wrong. We'll speak to Kobe when he comes in later. He looked proper solid. And then for the next half an hour, 40 minutes of the game, pretty much nothing happened. I think Laurie Walker made one unbelievable save from Effiong after we got done over the top, which again has been happening quite a lot for Barnet over the last couple of games. Over the top, we're getting done numerous times. I think we're a bit slow at the back with Diarra and HiccupEU. Obviously, one's 33 and one's 34, I think. So teams are going to get in behind us. It's how it is. But yeah, ultimately they didn't score, and it's 1-1 going into the 90th minute, thinking, oh well, it's a poor result. And if you look at it, but looking at the game, it's a draw, and we'll take a draw. And we'll go into the next game. But yeah, it's 1-1. We've got a throw in at right back when Ben Winter chucks it to Revan, who's just come on for his debut. He's been out-muscled by Effiong. Effiong's cut inside, and he's bent it into the top corner past Laurie Walker. Nothing he could do. And Aldershot looked like they've won the game in the 90th minute. And that was so poor from Barnet to give that away. So poor. Then, obviously, we've chucked men forward straight from kickoff. Aldershot won the ball back. And I think it was Tommy Willards won the ball, whipped it in the corner, and it's 3-1 Aldershot. And that's game, set, and match. To be honest, that's a poor result for us. It really was. Because going into the game, we should be winning that. Aldershot going in bottom of the league. We're sitting pretty in third, having only lost one. You would have put money on us. Funny enough, I did put money on us, and yeah, we lost. So that's what happens when I bet on Barnet. We end up losing. So that wasn't fun. But yeah, we win some, we lose some. It was a poor performance, and that was the problem I had after the game. I was very angry, very emotional actually on the train back. I was pretty angry. Carla would tell you she was there. I was not happy Barney on the way back, but we move, and we've got Southend and Dorking coming up in the next week, and they're quite big games now. I think they're both winnable games. Southend losing at home to Torquay on Saturday. They've not had the greatest start. Dorking as well, shipping goals left, right, and centre. So that should be two winnable games for Barnet. But you know what? It was just very disappointing. And I'm going to bring in Carla now, who's going to give her opinion on the game, and hopefully she will reiterate what I've been saying. Maybe she'll have some other things to say. And leave a comment in the chat if you've got something to bring in. I really want you to be interactive with this. It's really important that people have their opinions. And if you've got an opinion, make sure you say it. Let's bring in Carla now. Carla, in we go.
Hello.
There we go. So Carla was at the game Saturday. Yeah, we can hear you. Carla was at the game Saturday. She's been at every game since 2018, barring COVID. How on earth do you do that?
Mate, sometimes I ask myself the same question, but days like Saturday do make you question it. But I'm sure if we get a result against Southend, it'll all be worth it.
Yeah, no, it will be. So first of all, sum up the game Saturday for us. Give us your take. How do you think we went? What did you think?
I thought, kind of similar to what you said. I think all season we've not actually played very well, despite the fact we've got decent results and stuff. And I think we really got found out on Saturday. I think it was a bit of reality check, and maybe we did go into a bit overconfident. We were the favourites. Obviously, Aldershot had won one game going into that, so I think we probably did go in with an aura of confidence. I think we. I don't really want to blame this, and I'm not saying it's why we lost, but obviously we did have people like Collins and Miranda Haviland missing, and I think with them we would have been better, but I don't think we should have lost without them. But I just think overall we were poor. I thought we were quite immobile. I don't think we really offered anything really going forward. There were a few balls in, but then there was just no one to get them. I thought we gave Aldershot so much time on the ball, and they're not they're a team who will have chances, and we let them take them. I think we were really standoffish. We didn't want to go to a player, and then we got kind of a bit lazy because we weren't doing the thing defending right. So then we got a bit lazy and we're we'll just go for the cheap foul, the cheap whatever. I think obviously Laurie Walker, I know he conceded 3 goals. I think he had a good game, but then there's only an extent to what your goalkeeper can do if he's not being supported by the defence. So yeah, nothing really positive to say for once.
No, and I think Max reiterates it here with his comment. He said we got proper bullied Saturday. It wasn't good. And to be honest, I do agree with that. I think Ini Effiong, I know he's poor for us, but he had a great season with Woking last season. And to be honest, he tore shreds out of HiccupEU and Diarra.
I think it says a lot as well. The fact, obviously, as you said, Effiong was with us during a hard time. And obviously, Amaluza was with us when he was a lot younger. But then you look at 2 players who really bullied us, and it's they were both former Barnet players, and you know, it is one of those where you sit there and you think, oh, how are we ending up in this situation again?
Yeah, no, I do agree. It was time after time. Effiong was backing into Diarra, backing into Akimo, and you think Diarra's like 9'7". He should have a bit of a presence about him, but Effiong tore him a new one.
The fastest. Yes, we know like Diarra and Akimo, really. They're a bit older. They're not the fastest. Like, we found that out at Chesterfield with the Shamanga goal, okay? But you're still a defender. Like, surely you still have a job to do. You're still a defender. And if you're that tall and you're that big, you've got to have a presence in the box. And if you don't, then I'm kind of like, what are you doing then?
Yeah, it was weird, and I think there's been a lot of games so far this season where we've actually heard at times the back four sort of been exposed at times over the top. I know it even happened in the first game against Halifax. I know that Manny Disarue got in a couple of times and he was just a bit slow, to be honest. But against quicker teams like Chesterfield, where Shamanga got in, you're punished. And Laurie Walker's pulled out some unbelievable saves at times, but can't save everything, can it?
Exactly.
It's not.
There's only an extent you can do, and I think what you're saying about the height as well. Like, obviously, when Collins is fit, he's in that defence, and he's been very good for us so far. But he's not the tallest, so if you're going to have someone like Diarra, you need him to be making the most of his size, because otherwise, it's like, well, we have no height then in the back four.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. What did you think about bringing on Idris Kanu? I've got a comment here from Dan who says that he's not cut out for this level. I don't know whether I don't know who Dan supports. Sorry for interrupting you. I don't know who Dan supports, but maybe he's a Peterborough fan. He's not cut out for League One, or maybe he's an Aldershot fan. He's not cut out for the National League. So we don't know. But what did you think?
I think, well, I kind of echo what you're saying. Like, I don't really understand why we took Rob Hall off, because I thought he was having, but I wouldn't say he was having a great game. I don't think anyone was having a great game by half time, but I'd say of everyone, he was showing the most threat. And I think that is kind of a game where you want Rob Hall. I mean, we know he can slow down a bit later on, but I think he showed even last season against Aldershot, this is his type of game. So I personally would have kept him on. I think it is hard to judge Idris Kanu, because like we've seen him once, and obviously like on the way we saw that Peterborough fan who said to you, oh, he's rubbish. And obviously when someone says that to you, like, oh, for God's sake, but then you are thinking, well, they were in the Championship last season, they're in League One now, do you know what I mean? That like, he might be rubbish for them, fine, but I just don't think like, and yeah, if you come on in that kind of game and we're not playing very well anyway, you're probably not going to have the game of your life. But I just don't think he did anything really.
I think that we played him. We moved him into the number 10 position in the second half and moved Sean Shields onto the right and then Harry Pritchard onto the left, which sort of baffled me a bit, because in the first half, when we got the ball out wide, Aldershot could not deal with us. We got the ball out wide, we were crossing the ball in the box, and there was all 50-50s in the box. So maybe we score, maybe we don't. We didn't, but maybe we did. But I don't know. It was weird. It was
like
weird.
You say, like, I don't really understand why we set up that way when he came on, but because we did, I don't think he had. I just don't think he's going to excel in that role, and like I didn't notice him for most of the game, because I just don't think he was getting a look at. I don't think that's the way we should be playing him. But I also think it was a poor substitution anyway to bring Rob Hall off, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. We've got another comment from Dan. So he says, James, thoughts on the transfer window. So, Carla, I'm going to go first with you. How do you think we did in the transfer window that actually doesn't exist for the National League?
Generally quite well. Like, I think if you actually look at like our first month, really, I think you look at Laurie Walker, he's done really well since coming in. Dale Gorman's been pretty solid. Harry Pritchard, Kabamba, obviously, he's got a few goals to start with. Like, I think overall, we've done. I think we still are saying. I mean, I know we signed Raven the other day, and we haven't really seen how he measures up. So, like, before this game, then we were saying we need a centre back and a striker. I think we still need that striker. But I think if you look at the task we had, we did recruit quite well. We kind of have got a mix. Like, we've had players that have played a bit further up. We've had players like who are kind of very well known in the National League. Like players like Ben Winter, I know maybe he hasn't shown us his full potential yet, but when we signed him, you've got people saying he's the best right back in the league. So I do think we've got the recruitment right most. So I think there's still a bit to go. I think we've got too many midfielders, but I think that's going to be the Barnet way. But overall, I'd say I'm fairly happy with it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I think we've made some top signings. I think there's been a lot of players that have stood out in the opening games, but again, we've given away a lot of chances, and that's what's concerned me. Like I said it in every game, every vlog that I've done. That well, we've ridden our luck at times, but then we've sort of had the quality to score, especially in that Eastleigh game where I thought we were really, really poor, but we actually scored 3 unbelievable goals and we took away the win. And it sort of happened a couple of times. Yeovil away, Laurie Walker pulled off 6 or 7 unbelievable saves, and then we scored 2 outrageous goals. It's happened most games, but I think we're there or thereabout this season. I think we're a striker away. I think we need a striker to come in the next couple of weeks to compete with Kabamba and to give us just another outlet. Like on Saturday, we were chasing the game, and what could we bring on? We brought on Dan Powell, who's probably not fit. We brought on Idris Kanu in the number 10 role, probably not his best position, and we brought on a centre half. Ideally, we'd bring on a second striker. We could change the system, or we could take Kabamba off and bring on a bit of pace, but we just don't have that at the moment. I think there's been our midfields look really good. I think Dale Gorman's been good. I can see a comment in the live chat that says he's been unconvincing, but I actually think he's been really good so far. Apart from on Saturday where he kept trying to play an overhit, he kept overhitting the pass over the top. But it's one of those. But he's a bit of a, I can't say the word, but house, which we like to see. You want him on your team, but yeah, I think we've had a good transfer window, and I'm happy with our squad. Max has actually said that it's the best squad we've had since we've gone down, in my opinion. I do sort of agree. We did get into the playoffs under Darren Curry, but this squad may slightly be better. I do agree with that. I think we are a striker away. And what we did do really well in that Darren Curry era was we brought in a striker when we needed it. We got in Paul McCallum in January, and that's what took us to the playoffs. Something like that again this season, or we could be looking there for sure. And then we had another comment asked, what's the realistic aim for this season? I'm realistic. I think we're going to finish just outside the playoffs. But I think with a striker and with maybe a couple of signings later on in the season, just to freshen things up, there's no reason why we can't push into the playoffs. The teams that I thought would be in the playoffs are not playing well. The teams like Southend, the teams like Dagenham and Redbridge, they haven't started the season well. And if we can pick up a run going into January time, then we're up there. Then I'm seeing no reason why we can't finish up there. Carla, what do you think?
I mean, I think if you'd asked me before the season, I probably would have gone somewhere between 12th and 15th. Like, I think more than like a position to finish in, we just needed the stability, the consistency, and like to start building something. But obviously, I know we're only a month into the season, and yeah, we generally haven't actually played that well. But I think, like you said, I think as you look at it now, we'll probably be just outside the playoffs. But if we've got these kind of results not playing that well, then maybe if we actually figure out how to play well and maybe like add that striker now and then in January look at what we have to do, there is a chance. Like, the National League is so unpredictable, as you say. Like, there's some teams you expected to be up there that are just not. And then I mean, I know obviously we're not particular fans of Wilston, but I don't think anyone really expects them to have a great start to the season. Then they're up there as well. So I think in this league anything can happen. And when you look at it right now, if we did get that striker in now and improved our performances, you never know, we could be pushing there. But I'm not going to be greedy.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think it's a tough one. Teams will start to pick up runs. I know Max has said it again. Max is being very good in the comments today, but Grimsby didn't win in 14 last season, and they went on to win the playoff. So yeah, anything can happen, and I'm sure that if we do pick up some form and we do beat some of the teams around us, then we've definitely got a chance. We've definitely got a chance. Got another comment this time from Billy. James, will your girlfriend be joining us at any games this season? Nice to have some eye candy at the Hive. I think she will be joining us, actually. It's an interesting comment. I'm sure she's probably watching, actually, so I'm sure she'll appreciate the comment. But yeah, she I'm sure she'll want to come. Barnet are actually unbeaten when she has come to a game this season. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in Kobe, who has his own YouTube channel. He vlogs all the Aldershot games. He did a vlog from Saturday's game. It's really, really good. Make sure you do check it out. Gives a proper fan experience from the Aldershot end, who actually they were supposed to be boycotting the game. I'm not quite sure what happened to that, so I will ask him about that. I'm going to bring him in now. I'm going to get his opinion on the game. Kobe, there we are.
You're right, guys. Hope you're doing well.
How are you?
I am very good after Saturday's result. I mean, it's our first time we were leading in our home game this season, and we end up going on to win it. So, I mean, before the game, everyone was just in the mud. Nobody was optimistic about getting a result. I had fans saying it was going to be 5-0 Barnet, that we were going to have no chance at all. And then Yeah, we just got a result out of something that I feel like we really deserved in the end, to be honest.
Yeah, I do agree with that, actually. You definitely did deserve the result. I think you had the better chances throughout the game, and you defended really well. We didn't really have a sniff apart from the Kabamba chance, which your keeper made an unbelievable save. I think if you just want to run through the game for us, or from your opinion, obviously my opinion was that we just didn't press you whatsoever and you bullied us. So if you want to run it for your side, that'd be great.
So from what happened to me at the game, I mean, I remember seeing from my heart in my video, there was the first 15 minutes was just nothing. It was plain, to be honest. And then it started to spice up a little bit. We were starting to string a few more passes together. From what I heard from like the club's tactics were, because Barnet plays so narrow, we were trying to play wider, and we were definitely starting to exploit the wings a little bit more, getting in behind. There was a few chances where Amaluza and Amati were getting in behind the fullbacks and testing the goalkeeper, because we've been doing it a lot. And the summer of our August, really, we had so many chances. We just couldn't find the back of the net. But when Justin got tripped over in the box and we get a penalty, I think, right, it's going to be brilliant. We're going to have a chance. And then in he steps up, bang, back of the net, straight down the middle. I was very nervous because we had Laurie Walker on loan last season and he was one hell of a keeper. I was gutted when he went. And then to see him sign for Barnet, gutted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's been unreal for us in the first 7 games, like proper good. He's a top guy as well. If you speak to him, he's always happy to have a chat about football. And yeah, he's kept us in a lot of games. And he actually kept us in the game in the first half. I think you had quite a few chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had there's a few where Ini Effiong had a shot at Laurie Walker. There was a few that went just wide. And I just thought it was giving a summary of our game. I mean, say for example, we take the Maidstone game. First half, we should have been 4-0 up. Ini Effiong has 3 chances. He hits the bars. Brilliant save from the keeper. There's one where one of their centre-backs is on the line, sat down, and he manages to head it clear. And you're just thinking, what the hell is going on? How's the ball not going in the back of the net? And then half-time whistle blows. We're like, right, okay, it's a brilliant first half. Let's go again. 9 minutes into the second half, we're 3-0 down. And I'm going, what the hell has just happened? They get a penalty. They score from kickoff with 2 headers. And then you're just thinking, okay, well, from a game where we really should have been 5-0 up, we're 3-0 down, and then you're just stunned, really.
Yeah, I think that was sort of what I said actually at halftime of our game. We scored 15 minutes before halftime. We then dominated the ball, and we had a couple of chances. Gorman hit the bar. Your keeper made a save, and I think if we score, then the same thing happens as the Maidstone game for you lot. I think you crumble.
Yeah, I mean, Luca Ashby-Hammond he's been a brilliant shot stopper for us. I mean, his distribution has been a little bit questionable by the fans. But in terms of a shot-stopping keeper, he is absolutely sensational for a National League goalkeeper. I heard you mentioning earlier, but yeah, he is on loan from Fulham right now. We've got him on a season-long loan. He was at Stockport last year as a backup keeper. And when you've got someone like that from a team that's won the league, it's brilliant. But yeah, Ini Effiong goes 1-0 up and puts us 1-0 up. And then Pritchard scores a corner header from Ollie Harfield, just losing his man quite easily, to be honest.
I thought he looked really poor in that game, actually. And I thought that when we took Rob Hall off, that sort of killed the game because Hall had him on toast in the first half.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Ollie seems like a great guy, but from a footballing perspective, he's definitely, I would say, one of our weakest links. Our fullbacks were the problem, really, but Archie, our right back, he's been brilliant in the last few games. And Ollie, it just seems a little bit shaky. So that's why teams have been exploiting. And yeah, that's where you ended up getting your goal. So when Hall went off at half time, I was over the moon.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And then the second half, again, he dominated. I think Walker made one of the best saves I've ever seen when I think Effiong cut inside, was running through the middle, and then I think it was a powerful shot. And I don't know how Walker saved it, really.
Oh, it was insane. I remember it now. He cuts inside and he finesses it. I mean, he ended up going on to score from basically the same position later on in the game, but it was that chance. The main chance that sticks out for me is when we passed it to one of our midfielders and he has a tap in. It was Vincent. He had a tap in and it was a brilliant save. Slides on the line and manages to get it over the bar. It was unbelievable. And then there was that brilliant save. And I was just given our form this year. I mean, Ini Effiong's been having 5 chances a game and he's only scored, before Saturday, he'd only scored 1. I was thinking this is just going to be the same again. We're not going to be able to find the back of the net after having loads of chances. We were all over you for quite a large portion of the game, and then Ini Effiong finally cuts inside from a Barnet mistake, puts the ball into the top corner, and then just sends the East Bank wild.
Yeah, he did, and it was just so poor from us to give him that chance, considering the chances we'd already given away in the game. It's from a throw in the 90th minute. It annoyed me so much because you've got to be street smart, especially in this league.
100%.
If you've got a throw in your own box in the 90th minute, you either throw it forwards or you don't throw it to the centre back who's just come on. That was it was suicidal football for me.
Yeah, it's very shaky, especially a player that just come on. And for me, the one thing that sticks out massively is going into the last few minutes of the game. I thought it'd be typical Aldershot to lose, to be honest. I mean, look at the result at Boundary Park. It was 1-1. We had so many chances to win the game. 95th minute, they put the ball in the back of the net. I'm thinking, is this going to happen again? And to see Aldershot actually on the winning end of one of those results after so long, it's just over the moon, really.
Yeah, so you've obviously got that win now, and I think you'll push up the league now. You didn't look like a bad side whatsoever. But I just want to talk about two players that used to play for us, Ini Young and Justin Amaluza. They look like they were top quality in that game, but I don't know how they've been so far.
Justin Amaluza has definitely been our best player so far this season. I mean, I don't know what he was like at Barnet, but his fitness seems to be a little bit off right now. There's times where you look at him in the 75th minute, he's almost gone down with cramp every game in around the 75th minute. He looks a bit leggy, but his finishing has just been absolutely brilliant. I was looking at his record before, and I think he's only scored like 2 goals in like the leagues before, and now he's already scored 3 for us this season. And Ini, well, as I've previously mentioned, he's been having about 5 chances a game. There was that brilliant header he scored against Solihull, but apart from that, there's chances where he's put it over the bar from 6 yards out. There's headers that he's put wide. And to finally see him get a brace on Saturday, hopefully it does wonders for his confidence and he starts putting the ball in the back of the net more often.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions in the comments. I'm not actually going to show them because the name is trying to catch me out and it's not going to catch me out. But it says, how do Aldershot kick on from the weekend? So I'm going to give that to you. How do you kick on now?
We've got Torquay on Saturday where, I mean, Torquay have just come off the back of a victory to Southend. But before that, they'd lost 4 games in a row. And realistically, if we play like we did against Barnet, then I think we'll be perfectly fine to push on because realistically, we are not a bottom of the league side. We've created, apart from the first 2 games where Solihull, we were beaten by the better team, we were destroyed. And then Chesterfield, it was a 1-0 where we had a chance where we hit the bar. And then from that onwards, Bromley, we lost 1-0. We had 5 or 6 chances we should have put in the back of the net. And if we carry on like that, then surely against Torquay, we'll end up putting the ball in the back of the net. Our away form is 10 times better. Just hope that Notts County on Tuesday is not too much of a confidence killer because you want to try and get a momentum run and then you have a big hitter like Notts County and then your confidence is on the floor again.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. Like when you get those big smashings, that's when you feel like rubbish. And we were on the back end of a lot of them last season. I think we lost 6-0 about 4 times, and it wasn't good. Got a question from Luke. Luke, love your content. I think everyone knows Luke. Does a great podcast. Bit of inspiration taken from that for this. He says, "Ask Kobe who did the best on the predictions."
Oh, Luke just wants to show off a little demo because he got 17 points on the week that I got 16, and that was my best week. And yeah, he manages to beat me again, but the National League is one of the hardest leagues to predict. You look at like the Premier League and all the other leagues and you think, well, you can look at the results and you think, well, Man City are going to win regardless. But then you look at the National League and you just see bloody Chesterfield drawing to Dorking at the start of the season. And then you just go, wait, hold on a minute. I would have backed Chesterfield to absolutely thump Dorking, given their recent form as well. But yeah, it's impossible.
It is the most impossible league. So that's why I don't even do predictions on a weekly basis because there is literally no point. So I'm going to bring in another question. I'm going to bring Carla back in as well. How much of a loss is Ephron Mason-Clark for Barnet? I
mean, I think, he is really our best player. I think we've probably spent the last, me and you especially, spent the last year and a half saying he needs to add that final bit to his game. He needs to add that goal. He needs to add that threat in front of goal. He needs to get intelligent and know kind of when to stop doing the step overs. And then this season started and he was doing exactly that. And you could see he had got the final piece of the game. And it was the time, he was always obviously such a good player for us. But it's the time he stepped up to being the complete player. And then he left. So I think it is a massive loss, but I'd say in comparison to previous years, our other options are stronger than they were. I think in the past, because he's had opportunities to go in the past, we would have been a lot worse without him. Whereas I think he added to us and enhanced us, but I don't necessarily think we're a bad side now we don't have him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do agree. It was a tough one because I think I was probably his biggest critic. Like I loved watching him play, step over, Croton, and then it usually resulted in overhit cross or a shot over the bar. But this season, the first 5 or 6 games what he was involved in just completely changed. His crossing was ridiculous, and he was putting away the chances, and he fully deserved his move to Peterborough. And I'm sure he'll do all right in that league as well. He'll have more time on the ball. There's not going to be so many clamps. There's not as many terrible pitches. So I think he'll do well. I don't know if Kobe knew of Ephraim Mason-Clark. I'm sure he was probably a standout player for oppositions when they played against Barnet.
I wasn't really too sure. I heard that he was a bowler, but from my experience, we lost Jaden Harris at the start of our season, who was an absolute baller in pre-season. If you look at the goal he scored against Wilton at the end of last season, he took in about 6 players and put it in the back of the net. So to lose one of our best midfielders, I mean, first 3 games, we were bloody Bagel FC. We had nothing in the midfield. And then as soon as we signed Frank Vincent, thankfully we found some sort of a replacement on a short-term loan. But when you lose those key players in the middle, you kind of just seem to lose grip of the game. So hopefully it doesn't too much damage to you guys in the midfield.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough one. We've got another point from Luke. I think this is directly for you, Kobe. If you have a proven goal scorer like Effiong, you should survive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Effiong got 13 goals last season against Woking. So one thing that we did miss last season was that proven goal scorer. I think our highest goal scorer was Tommy Willard with 5 goals or something, who, may I add, loves a goal against Barnet. He scored against Barnet last season at home and he scored again on Saturday. But I think we'll be perfectly fine, to be honest, if we carry on playing like we are. I know a few fans are saying, Mosley out, bloody sack the board or whatever. But we're playing brilliant football. It's just those decisions in the critical moments that we're just lacking a little bit right now. And against Barnet, we were a lot better. And if we can carry on going like that, then I think we could finish 15th or 16th.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question. So I think that type of victory against a team that's doing really well, it does tend to turn your season around. So I think what would you say is, having watched the first 7 games, having beaten us now, what would you say is your realistic aim? Would you say it's that 16th, 17th, or would you be pushing higher, or do you think it's just about staying up this year?
Realistically, our goal should be survival based on last year, but I know a lot of the fans and people are saying that we really should be pushing on, going for a mid-table finish, however hard that is. I think our start is a bit of a false start because the teams we've played Oldham, we've played Chesterfield, we've played Solihull, we've played Bromley, Boreham Wood, all the teams we've played, Barnet, are all going to be up there this season. And fingers crossed, we'll start getting the results and proving that we're actually a really good footballing side against the lower teams. No disrespect to them, obviously, but teams that realistically we should be beating. And yeah, I think realistically we can go for a 15th to 12th place. I know it sounds a bit dodgy given our start, but if we can maybe bring in a few signings like we did last year in September with the likes of Corey Jordan and carry on the way that we have been, we'll be fine. I mean, last season we were on a terrible losing streak. We end up beating Grimsby 2-1 at home, and then we went on a 12-game unbeaten streak in the league. I mean, it just shows that when you do end up getting that all-important victory, especially given our last home record, I think before then we had 4 wins in 28 or something ridiculous at home. So, yes, hopefully it's a turn for the better and we can start to push on.
Okay, so we got I tend to agree with that as well. I think you were a lot better than Halifax, who were really poor against us. I think there'll be worse teams than you, and I think you will definitely finish lower mid table. Got a stopgap question here. I'm not going to read out the name. I don't think, because I think it's the same guy that had the comment before. But what does Carla think of James's haircut?
Well, I think obviously after we signed Sean Shields, you tried to do a bit of the Sean Shields hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, I ain't got a problem with your haircut, James. It's all right.
No. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Luke says, I liked the look of that haul for Barnet. Unbelievable goal versus Eastleigh. Yes, he's a top quality player. Came through at West Ham, had a good league career. He's been injured a lot throughout his career, and that's why he's ended up at Barnet. Needs to add more goals to his game. He seems to only score when we're on TV, so that's probably why I like the look of him. But yeah, no, he's decent. He's decent, and I think he's a starter for most teams in the league. Carla?
Yeah, I'd say the same. Like, obviously, he has knee problems, so he's one of those players that is either going to go off at 70 minutes or come on at 70 minutes. It's always 70 minutes with him. But I think, yeah, same as you, he does need to add the goals more consistently. He loves an absolute banger every time we're on BT. But I think if he can get that more consistently, he's such a dangerous player. He's got so much quality. So
yeah, no, that's fine. I've just seen a question which I'm not going to discuss. So I'm actually going to do this. Is going to be a new thing on the podcast, obviously because it's a new podcast. But we're going to be doing it every week. It's going to be called Harpin's Random Question of the Week. Right. So yeah. So I'm going to ask both of you a random question. It's like an interview question. You get in a job interview where you just give an opinion, and it's a bit of a light-hearted one. So we're going to go to Carla first. You're both going to get the same question. Okay, so if you were shipwrecked on a deserted island, but all your human needs, such as food and water, were taken care of, what 2 items would you have with you?
And like my iPod, so I could listen to music, and probably my favourite book.
Okay, expecting something more exciting than that, but
I'm sure. What do you want me to do?
I'm joking. Kobe?
It's a tricky one because, I mean, when you're sat there with nothing, I'd definitely bring a football. I mean, but if I'm alone on my desert island by myself, I can practice for you, keep you up, and hopefully Mark Mezzi will give me my call up into the first team. And then
I was thinking that. And what else?
Second item, if I was on a desert island, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. It's difficult. Probably, I don't know, a flare gun to save myself, or I don't know. I could bring some pyros. I could make some cool shapes in the sky. I mean,
yeah. You've got to occupy yourself somehow. I think there's no Barnet or Aldershot merch here, so I'm a bit concerned by that. But anyway, that's Harpin's question of the week.
It's an Aldershot football. How could you not assume that it's an Aldershot football?
Yeah, but
that is true.
If I had a Barnet mug, what's that going to do? At least I'm going to be entertained reading, listening to music. I'm just accepting my fate.
That is true. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to do one of those random questions every week, just to have a bit of a light-hearted break. We're now going to move on to the big fat National League quiz of the week, where every week we'll be doing Barnet fans versus the guests. We'll toss it up. So if Carla wins this, it'll be 1-0 to Barnet. If Kobe wins it, it'll be 1-0 to the guest. So what we're going to do is going to be 10 questions. I'm going to go Carla, Kobe. We're going to actually start with Kobe because we're going to give the guests the first game, first question. So it's just going to be 5 questions each, and then if it's 5 or at the end, we've got sudden death question, and the closest wins. So start off with Kobe. And it's going to be 5 seconds, right? So who is the current top scorer in the National League?
Macaulay Langstaff.
Okay. Right. Carla, who is currently bottom of the National League?
Scunthorpe.
Yep. Kobe, which player won the Golden Boot in the National League last season?
Paul Mullen.
Yep. These are probably a bit easy, to be fair.
Should have been Kabongo Shabanga, but he ended up getting injured in January.
It's true. Which club has conceded the most goals so far in the National League, Carla?
Oh.
5, between 2,
3.
Dorking.
Yes. Which teams got relegated from the National League last season? Kobe.
Weymouth, Dover,
2,
and
1.
Kings Lynn.
0.
Oh, come on, VAR.
We're giving that VAR. I'm going to give it. So that is 3-2 at the moment, isn't it? So we're going to go back to Carla on this one. It is, which club received the most red cards last season? Horrible question.
Oh.
5, 4,
Bournemouth.
3, no, 2, 1.
Wilson.
No, it was in fact Woking. That is currently
Yeah, exactly.
3
It's the dirty little scummers.
3-2 to Kobe. Now we're back to Kobe. Name all 4 clubs promoted to the National League this season.
Oh God, Maidenhead. No, Maidstone.
No.
I know them. I just
Maidstone,
under
Dorking,
pressure.
Gateshead, and York.
Carla, right out of my mouth. See, I know.
Who had the highest attendance in the last game week?
Chesterfield.
It wasn't at Chesterfield.
Oh damn! Who was at home? Southend.
No, it was Oldham. It was Oldham v Chesterfield, but it was at Oldham.
Yeah, it was at Boundary Park.
So not going to give you that. So I think if Kobe gets this, he may actually win.
Pressure.
No pressure.
Give him a hard
Got to G up the crowd. Come on, guys, let's do this.
This is for the win, Kobe, yeah? Who scored a hat-trick for Solihull in their 5-1 win over Altrincham on Saturday?
Alex Reid.
Oh, he's got the win, and it's 1-0
I know
to
my
the
National
guest.
League ball, that National League prediction series.
He knows his National League ball. It's 1-0 to the guest. Carla, what do you think? Let the bees down there.
Get it.
Well, you asked me who got the most red cards. I said, if you had given me that question about who was promoted, I would.
He takes the shot off and runs into the fans. Come on.
Yeah, well, Carla, you've let the bees down there, and it's 1-0 to it's 1-0 to the guest. Max is asking to be on next week. I'm sure people are going to want to be on next week after that. It's riveting.
Be fair though, they're going to have.
We've got a comment here. We've got a comment here. Hiccup is the GOAT. I think from that we might be true there. I've got another one here. VAR. Carla's been robbed.
No. I got that in before, and I got that before. Doug, you're a mug.
Yeah, Carla's with Doug there, but that's the end of that one. I think we enjoyed that, and I think we'll definitely bring that back next week. I think that's a good little stopgap in the podcast. We're now going to say thank you to Kobe for his time. I think this has been a good guest to have on the show. It's been a good opener. I've really enjoyed having him on. Hopefully, next time we do have him on, it won't be for an Aldershot win, though.
Oh, but
Kobe, Kobe, have you enjoyed this?
Oh, it's been a brilliant experience. My first actual time going on a live talking podcast. And yeah, I'd just like to thank you very much for inviting me on, and good luck to Barnet for the rest of the season.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, and good luck to Aldershot as well. I'm sure you'll start pushing up the league soon.
Oh, we're going to need it. We're going to need it by far.
Thanks, Kobe.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
See you later.
Right, so we're back. It's just me and Carla now, and we're going to finish this podcast in the next 15 minutes or so, and we're going to talk about Barnet, a lot more about Barnet, because who doesn't want to talk about Barnet, eh? We're the biggest club in the world, and we've got some games coming up, and I just want to talk about how you think we're going to get on. Make sure you do keep commenting in the chat. If you've got any questions about Barnet, me and Carla are here to answer. I saw some questions before about best centre-back pairing. Honestly, I don't know. It depends on who we're playing against. College is our best centre-half. Danny College, he looks superb, by the way. I can see him playing in higher leagues in the years to come. I think there's a lot of options next to him. We've got Diarra, he's too slow. We've got Akimo, he's about 47 years old. We've got Rekan, who came in, but he came off the bench the other day and had a really poor game, basically gave away the game for us, giving it to Effiong. So there's options there. Even Ben Winter can play centre-back. I think it depends on who we play. If we're keeping the ball, then I'd go with College and probably Revan, or whatever his name is. I still can't say it. Just because then we can pass the ball out from the back and play properly. But if we're up against your Wrexhams or your teams that like to pump balls in the box, you get Diarra in the team so we can head it. Carla, what do you think?
Yeah, literally the same. I think Collins is the one who stays there. And then, obviously, we haven't really seen anything of the new guy, so it's hard to judge. But if you, obviously, we've kind of looked him up a bit. So I think based off that, as you say, when teams are going over the top, you can have big moves in there, and just hopefully he doesn't try and move too much. And then for more on the ground games, you'd go for the new guy. We hope.
Yeah, you'd think so. So what we're going to discuss now is the next couple of games for Barnet. So I've put it on the banner at the bottom. Our next 3 games are I've put next 3 games, there's actually 5 games. Technical difficulties in the first podcast, of course. And the next 5 games, obviously, so we've got Southend at home. What do you think of that?
Win.
Not backing your guy, Darren Curry?
Of course I'm backing Darren Curry. I love the guy, but I think we've got to win now because we didn't win at Aldershot. Because initially I had said if we had won at Aldershot, I would have taken a point against Southend. But I think now we haven't. We have to go and win it. But also,
what do you think? What do you think needs to change from Aldershot game to the Southend game for Barnet?
Can I say everything? No, I think we just need to. I think I just be quicker. Like, I don't know why we were so slow, because that team has played. Like, I think Gorman's had a pretty alright season so far, but I don't think he was going to think. Sam Beard didn't really have a great game, and he's not a bad player. I think just it was individual performances really, and I think, you know, it could be a fact of. I mean, we said it was a bit of a reality check. Hopefully, it's humbled them a bit. They work hard and train this week, and they're all coming out and kind of fighting for their place and showing why they're good. And do you know what I mean? Maybe I think if anything, like, whilst I do think we shouldn't have taken Rob Hall off and stuff, it could have been a bit of an attitude thing. You're obviously going into a game that on paper is easy and you're in decent form. And for me, it was just so many players who have not been that bad this season having terrible games. So I think just individual performances need to.
Yeah, I think we'll probably change it up.
Where's Fongut run rings around us? Don't start Connor Smith, because then that will happen.
That is true. That is true. I think the system sort of has to be a bit different on Saturday. I don't think we've kept the ball well enough in the first couple of games, and that's sort of what let us down on Saturday. I think against a team lower down in the league, you should start to dominate the ball. You should be able to pass the ball around, especially with the quality we've got. I think we've got players that can pick up the ball off the centre backs, and we can spray balls around out wide. And we can take our men on one-on-one. That was where we were strong in the first couple of games. We were getting Shields one-on-one. We're obviously getting Mason Clark one-on-one. Unfortunately, he's gone now, but Hall can do the job. I think Carnu can do the job as well. You get these players one-on-one with their fullbacks, and they'll take them on and they'll cross the ball. And Kabamba, he's 6'3", he's a big striker, he's strong. He'll bully centre halves, and I think there's definitely opportunity for Barnet to win in the next couple of games. Southend not done well recently at all. Losing at home to Torquay is a shocking result, I think. I think also I wasn't too impressed by their signings. I said it in my prediction video, actually. I wasn't impressed at all by their signings. I think they're a team that should be doing a lot. They're punching way below their weight at the moment. I think they should be doing a lot better than what they are. They've got a big budget, and they should be going. Like, obviously, Dan Mooney's going to cause a lot of trouble for us. He's going to be up against Sam Beard, who's got to do a lot better than he has done in the last couple of games. He's a really, really good player, Sam Beard. He's a League One left back for me, but the last couple of games he's been really, really poor. And if he's poor against Dan Mooney, that's in trouble, because he's quality, Dan Mooney. We've got Max, who says we're going to win the next 2 home games, and then Solihull's expected to be tough, and Dagger's defo winnable. I do agree with that. I think Southend, we should be looking for 3 points there. Dorking at home, they look like they're conceding goals left, right, and centre. And also now Rutherford's out. I think Mark White said he's actually done his ACL, which is unfortunate for him, but fortunate for the rest of the league, because he's a top striker. And if he's missing from Dorking's 11, I can't see them staying up, to be honest. Carla, what do you think, Dorking at home?
I mean, you don't want the players to get into the same kind of attitude, because obviously we went to Aldershot and we're like, we should win, but we should win. Like, as you say, like, they've got the injury, they've conceded goals, they do like to score. So I think we have to make sure we're tight at the back, but I think they haven't actually got that much quality throughout the squad, and we have to be going into that game for 3 points.
Yeah, no, I do agree, especially going into the Solihull away game. I think Solihull, to be honest, I don't think we've actually ever been hammered by Solihull. I think every game we play against Solihull, they sort of just edge the game by just having a bit of quality.
It's always just such like a dead close game. Like, we can get a draw there if we don't play like we did on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Then Dagenham away, I mean, who knows what they're either going to be good or bad. And obviously they've got a lot of ex-Barnet players: McCallum, Johnson, Valetti. I'm probably missing some as well. They've got Josh Walker, who shushed the Barnet fans last season, which was a bit strange. But he's obviously they want to prove a point against us again. They shipped 7 past us last season, but they shipped 5 at home to Notts County the other day. So I mean, they're either going to be good or they're going to be bad. So I think that's a winnable game for Barnet, as long as we keep up the momentum that we had from the first couple of games. I think we've got to start getting the ball down on the floor. I mean, I know Kabamba's good in the air, and he's really good at holding the play up, but we're not getting the bodies around him, especially on Saturday. It was so evident. We were going long into Kabamba. He was holding it up, and there was no support, and eventually it would break down. And that's something we really got to work on. And I think Pritchard's been really good at it, making the third man run. And maybe Rob Hall was a bit too deep, and Shield was a bit ineffective on Saturday. I think these are the type of players that we need to be effective if we're going to be successful. If they're not effective, then we're just not an effective side.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think, as you say, like when we were talking earlier about needing another striker, it's not even just for having competition for Kabamba. It's like he's holding that ball up, but then there's nowhere. And if you think about the days of, like, obviously I'm not saying bring Michael Gash out, a bit older, that kind of player who is always in the right place, and someone else holds it up for him and then play, and he's always there to put it in. And I think you want to be looking at a type of player that can actually link up well, rather than going for someone similar to Kamba. I think you need someone who can play in a 2 with him, so we don't just have we can swap and take him off and bring him on. You have we can play them as a 2, or do you know what I mean? You've got the choice then. But as you say, I think we've got some brilliant players, but I think, as you say, it's just about being effective, and if they're not, then we don't have much.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I got another comment here. Surprised to see Armstrong not even making the bench on Saturday. Looked like a Dean Brennan type player in his cameo against Eastleigh, even when he didn't understand the tactics. To be honest, I think we've got a really strong squad now, and I know Armstrong is brought in. He's been brought in actually as a player that's going to be developed over the next year or so. A bit of the Ryan de Havilland mould, so he's not actually here to be in the first team yet. We're trying to get him into the pro game. He's never been involved in the pro game before, straight from Worthing in the semi-pro leagues. So I think it's going to take time for him to be embedded into the starting 11 and embedded into the squad. I think against Eastleigh, he did look bright. He looked really fast across midfield, and that's something that we're lacking with people like Connor Smith in midfield, who's maybe neat and tidy on the ball, but can't get around. And if playing against mobile midfielders, like we will be on Saturday against people like Wes Vonguk and Dan Mooney, who might come narrow at times, maybe Armstrong is the type of player that plays in those games. But I know Dean Brennan wants to sort of put him in slowly, and I think he'll be a good player eventually. I've heard good things about him. I'm not sure if the time is now for him to come into the team. Carla?
If you had brought him on, obviously we could see even at half time that we weren't having a great game. And I think if you bring a player who we know is being bought more for development purposes to start with, if you bring him on in a game like that, I think that could just be really poor for his confidence, because I think you could tell even at half time we weren't having a good game. We weren't looking as good as we should have. And yeah, he could have come on and changed it, but I think it would have taken a lot more than him. And I think to bring him on and be involved, like obviously when we were conceding, you could see Walker was yelling at the players, like rightly so. But I just think if you had brought him on, that could have really shot his confidence. I don't think it's the type of game where you bring him on.
Yeah, no, I do agree for that. And there's a lot of the type of players where we've got like young players that haven't come into the play for this type of level before, and I think we're sort of in a bit of a mold where we don't know whether to sign experienced players or we don't know whether to sign new players into the league, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but yeah, I'd like to see Armstrongs get involved soon. We got another comment from Luke who says, Powell and Mooney are the danger men for Southend. They were frightening versus Halifax. Yeah, I've heard good things about them. I think it's Callum Powell. I think it's their winger. I spoke to Lee Curry about him, Darren Curry's brother. Says he's a quality player. Last season struggled at times, but he looks top drawer. And Dan Mooney, we all know about Dan Mooney. I think they signed him from Altrincham. He's a top player. I think Altrincham have obviously Ryan Colclough still there. I'm not quite sure how he's still at the club. He's probably one of my favourite players in the league outside of Barnet. Top winger, and every time we've played against him, he's caused us havoc. Another comment from Luke. From now, do you feel this squad is capable of securing a playoff spot, Carla?
Yeah, I'm not saying that as in, yeah, we're going to get playoffs. I think obviously it's a long season, there's a lot of work to be done, but from what I've seen so far, if we can maybe get that final striker in and tidy up performances and kind of consistently look pretty good, then I think it is a squad capable of getting it.
Yeah, no, I do agree as well. I do agree. I think we've looked a lot better than some of the teams we've played against. We've had compliments from people like Woking fans, Chesterfield fans. Even when we lost to them, they said we were the best team they've played against, and they've already played against Wrexham. They've already played against Notts County. So it shows that we can cause havoc, and that was even without Efron Mason-Clark. So I think there is definitely potential for us to finish in the playoffs. I just think we're a couple of players away at the moment. And could one of their players be Sean Batt? Where is Sean Batt when you need him? That is the big question.
I mean, where is he? That is the question. I mean, I love the guy. He's a great fella, but I don't think he's going to solve our problem. I don't think he's when he was here.
No. I don't think he's the answer. His one goal in 45 games for Barnet was not the best record I've ever seen. It was a good goal, though.
It did feel...
Another comment from Max. Max has been very active today. I've liked it a lot. And I want all of you to be active, because this is what it's going to be. Someone else has asked, is this going to be a weekly thing or just a one-off? We're going to do this weekly. We're going to do it the day after every game. So if we 2 days after, so if we play on a Saturday, it'll be at this time on a Monday night, and if we play on a Tuesday, it'll be Thursday night. We're always going to get an opposition fan on. We're always going to get another Barnet fan on. So I think this is good. I think I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you do tell us if you do enjoy it. But Max has said here, can't go into a season with one striker. You need another option. As we've seen, it's not working and has nothing to change it. Hopefully comes in soon. I do agree. I know we're looking for a striker. We actually had three. I can't say the word free. The number 3, TH. So we had 3 players we were trying to sign, all go to EFL clubs actually on deadline day. I can't tell you who, but we did have 3 players that maybe we were trying to sign and we didn't get in, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one. There's players out there, and I'm sure it'll be soon when we do get a striker in. I'm looking forward to the striker that we are going to bring in, because he's going to take us to the next level. Dean knows what he's doing, so I'm more than confident. Carla?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those things that's so Barnet. Like, we always find ourselves going, and we need a striker. Like, if you think of the Darren Curry season, I know obviously we got Paul McCallum eventually, but even throughout the summer, like, oh, we need a striker, and then obviously Alf Pavey came in, and maybe it wasn't the answer we're looking for. But I think it is one of those things with Barnet every season is we need a striker. But I 100% agree with Max. Like, you can't. I don't want to sound like Michael Owen, but the purpose of football, like, you have to score goals. You have to score goals to win games. So if you're going in with one striker, and yeah, everyone did step up at the start of the season, but we didn't really have anyone else in the squad who was going, look, I can contribute goals from elsewhere as well. So I think, as Max says, like, you have no options to switch it up. You don't really have any options to even tactically change it and keep him on. I think it is such a rookie error to go into. But I do think, with what you say, Dean Brennan has shown so far he has a good idea at recruitment, and I would rather him take a bit more time and get it right than panic and bring in someone who isn't going to be effective.
I also think that, especially with this comment, we have to put a realism on where we are as a club. I mean, where do you think Barnet would be now if they went down in the 2020-21 season? We finished rock bottom. We were just lucky that COVID happened and we didn't get relegated. Like, we're now sort of in a position where it's the first season where we've started to kick on and we look good again. So us now saying, well, we're disappointed to lose away at Aldershot. Well, 3 years ago or 2 years ago, we'd taken a point any day of the week, because we were getting hammered left, right, and centre 6-1 to Wilstone. There was loads of 6-0s in there that season. It was a horror show. It was a horror show. But I think, yeah, we got to put where we are at the moment as a club is so much better. Brennan's bringing the togetherness, or however he says it in his accent, is bringing togetherness back to the club. I think the fans are on his side. He's bringing in the quality of player that we need, and I trust him definitely to bring in the striker that's going to take us to the next level. And if he does see 1 or 2 players throughout the season that will take us to the next level, I'm sure he'll bring them in, because he's got massive targets. So we've hit the target so far, but he's got huge targets for the club. And if there is one man that I think is going to take us back to where we belong in the league, it is Dean Brennan.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well he's kind of got a decent looking relationship with Tony Kay, which obviously it always helps. And I think, I mean, looking at our question, I think it's hard to say. We could theoretically still be in the league, but then you could also have, that could be the time you see certain teams get relegated and then suddenly the chairman invests loads to go straight back up. So I think it is hard to say, but I think it is what you're saying. It's just about managing expectations. And I think for me, this season was always, obviously we started it quite nicely, but it was always about consistency and kind of not being pulled into the relegation battle, but just finding the consistency, starting to build up a team. And for me, even now, it would be great if we can get the playoffs and push higher, but for me, it's always been a building season. And I just think if we go for a bad run of form, I don't think everyone's going to straight away jump on Dean. And I think he's going to have the time and the trust to build this team slowly. And there might be players in there now who next year he's going to go, no, I want better than you now. But you have to start somewhere. And I think we've started that rebuild really well. And I think we will find that level of consistency now if we stick with him.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, and I think there's definitely potential for us to grow. I mean, last year we grew on the year before. This year we already look like we're growing on last year, and I think next year there's probably a chance where we go up. We'll probably lose 2 teams this year, maybe Wrexham and Notts County, Wrexham and Chesterfield, those type of teams. They'll be gone, and then there's more room for clubs like Barnet to go back up. I mean, Scunthorpe and Oldham don't look like they're going to trouble too much this season, so there's still going to be big clubs around next year. But I think we're in a good place now, and God knows where we'd be if we went down in the 2020-21 season. It was looking rotten, and I don't even want to think about it, to be honest, mate. But a great question. I really appreciate that. Make sure you do get your questions in. But we are actually approaching the end of this podcast. It is the 59th minute. I'm going to take a couple more questions. We can go on for maybe 5 more minutes. I think that's all right. Carla, are you all right? Five more minutes? Oh, good. We got one here from Train Spotter, football fan. He says, why do you support Barnet? Carla, why do you support Barnet being from Leeds?
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Basically, it's my dad's fault. My dad is originally from Barnet, was a Barnet fan. He moved up to Leeds for uni, met my mum, settled there, and then we just, obviously, when I was growing up, Leeds were quite a, dirty team. Their fans were quite violent at the time still. So it is just about, Dad was like, oh, we'll take them to Barnet. We did a lot of Northern away days, and then I got more and more into it, and I don't think they still thought at 22 years old would be driving down from Leeds, but here we are. So
yeah, I've got a different story. So I've grown up in northwest London, so not too far from Barnet. My dad's from Southgate, which again is not too far from Barnet. And obviously, as you've seen, my channel is called Football with my gran. My grandma's been going to Barnet for 45 years, so I think I started going with her in sort of 2009ish. I used to go to Tottenham with my dad, but I sort of fallen in love with the lower league and knowing everyone that's there and knowing the players. I think, yeah, it's just different. I can't put a finger on it, but I just enjoy it more than the Premier League standard. And you don't get the VAR, you don't get the tourists, you don't get all these type of people. You get the same people every week, and we welcome new people in, and it's great. It is great.
I think it's what you're saying about the community thing, knowing the players, knowing the managers, knowing each other. I people know I'm a Newcastle fan as well, and every time I go to St James's, I sit next to someone different every time. I never see the same person twice. And then if you think about, I didn't know half the people we're friends with now even a year ago, and then you just get to know people, and now we're all really good friends. So I think it is that community aspect.
Yeah, no, I definitely do agree. So last couple of questions now. We've got Ali, hi James. Well, Woking fan here. Love the vid. Thanks, mate. Your slagging off of Tom Champion mid-game last season was brilliant. Well, he was being a bit of a numpty, wasn't he? Really, he was celebrating in front of the Barnet fans. Barnet, who actually released him because he wasn't good enough. So yeah, it wasn't a very good player for us. I don't think he was too good for you either. And now I think he's playing in the Ryman League or something. So that's probably where he belongs. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, Ali. I hope you carry on watching. Because all the support's great. I'm so grateful for all the support that we've had. The channel's grown loads over the last year, and hopefully with this podcast, I can see that people are enjoying it. So hopefully this grows even more. So Braden, I think your name is. You've said, who do you think would go down? And I don't know whether you're asking who's going to come up from the National League or who's going to come up from below. So I'm going to go, who's going to go down? Was it 4 down this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, that's a hard question. I do think Scunthorpe. I think they're just not adjusting. They're not adjusting. And if you don't adjust, I think you're going to go down. And they're struggling big time. This is hard after 7 games. I think Dorking, conceding too many goals, lost their top striker. I think they're in trouble. I don't want to say Halifax, but they looked really bad against us. But I know they've picked up the last couple of games. But off the top of my head, they were really poor against us. And then one more, I'm going to go with Maidstone. I just don't think they've got enough in their squad. They've got a lot of ex-Barnet players that were just nowhere near good enough for this level. Carla, 4 for you?
I pretty much agree with that. I think before the season started, obviously I was saying I could see Aldershot and down there, and I think we both said it was Maidenhead's time. But actually, as the season started, Scunthorpe are not at all. They're not looking like anything. As you said, I don't think they're adjusting. I think Maidstone, as you said, Maidstone and Dorking, I think it's a classic thing of coming up, and they've obviously, Dorking haven't intended to particularly lose their best player, but they have, and they concede too much. And I said to you from before the season, I could see Halifax having a bad season, and I've got a mate who's a Halifax fan, and he's just not raving about anything so far. Obviously, they lost a lot of good players, they lost a manager. I just don't think the appointing the assistants working for them. But I think you'll also get the likes of, I think Maidenhead will be down there, Aldershot could be still down there. Obviously, they did beat us, but it's one game. I think you've got the Yeovil down there. So I don't think it'll be clear cut, but I would say that as well.
Yeah, it's hard to say that. There's a big division in the league now. You've got your Wrexham, you've got your Chesterfield, you've got your Notts Counties. They're going to be up there. Then you've sort of got a mid-table with everyone else, and then They're sort of teams that anyone could go down. Well, Luke's not happy that we said Halifax, but he's not
Well,
going to be.
You look at us last season, like our first 9 games under Harry Kewell, we didn't win it all under Harry Kewell. So if we're looking at this, like last season at this point, obviously you're going to say Barnet. So I do think you've got to keep that in mind. Like you're looking at a handful of games. Obviously it is a long season, so anything could still happen. Woolston could drop right down from the top and get them.
They could, and they could be down back where they belong. Obviously, Kobe's not too happy. That's his YouTube account, by the way. So please make sure you do check him out because he is top draw. He says Maidenhead going down. Yeah, I did forget about Maidenhead. They've actually had an all right start to the season, I think. So
I think they're jamming.
I don't know.
Way to stay up.
Yeah, they're just a jammy team, aren't
they?
Do
you remember they were like in League Two, and every year would be pulled in, and every year would stay up. They're like that.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah. So Braden meant to say who's going to come up to the National League. Oh, I don't really look that low, to be honest, but I know Ebbsfleet are doing unbelievable. So I think they've got a big budget as well. Yeah, Ebbsfleet will come up. I think Kings Lynn have got a decent squad as well. Havant and Waterloo have spent a lot of money, so I think they're good. Unfortunately, National League North is not I wouldn't say that's anything I know about. Carla, you're Northern. Anything?
Oh yeah, I'm North. I'm trying to think who's even in the North.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I'll educate myself, and I'll come back to you next week on the vlog for that one. I'm sorry. If Aldershot go down, he'll go bald. Santos says, watch some of your vids, Hiccup, mate. Good luck, good stuff, keep it up. So yeah, I do agree with that. His stuff's really, really good. And I definitely recommend checking it out. I think we're going to end it here, though. I think it's actually been a really successful first podcast. The Talking Bees, we've talked a lot of bees. We've talked some Aldershot as well. We've talked some general National League. We've done the big fat quiz of the week. I think there's been a lot of good stuff in this podcast. And make sure you do comment afterwards. Make sure you do leave a like. And make sure you do subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 soon. I think we're nearly there. I think we're about 30 away. I want to hit 500 maybe in the next couple of weeks. Southend at home on Saturday. That'll bring in a decent crowd from our vlog. They'll bring a decent crowd to the Hive as well. We're going to bring back the podcast on Monday after that game. I'm going to get another guest on. So make sure you do message me if you do want to be on. James_Harpin on Twitter. I do tweet a lot of rubbish, so you don't have to follow me. But do message me if you want to be on, because I'd love to get new people on. I'm going to try and find a Southend fan to get on for next week as well. And then I'll try and find a Dorking fan to get on for the Thursday, if they exist. I don't even know if Dorking fans exist. So I'm going to try and find that. Carla, thank you for coming on. I'm just going to bring Kobe back on for 1 sec just to say thank you. There he is. Kobe wasn't too happy about the relegation. I think you'll stay up. I think you'll be fine. But I just want to say thank you to Kobe for coming on. Not so thank you for beating us on Saturday. Hopefully you might want to come back on when we play you at home. It'll be much appreciated. I really do appreciate you coming on. Carla, same as you. Thanks for taking your time out on a Monday night.
Thanks for having us.
No, that's all right. Kobe, last words.
Make sure to check out the Barnet vlog that I uploaded this morning, because I stayed up till 7:30 this morning editing it. So if you could check it out, it would mean a lot.
I will leave a link in the description once this video's gone up. Carla, thanks a lot. Kobe, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you do like, and do join us next Monday at the same time. And we'll have a new guest and we'll discuss the Southend game. Cheerio.